this score from this game, 3-point difference, that's going to be more or less what we see pretty much every game in this series, I think. I don't think that this is
Hopefully.
going to have, I don't think there's going to be any blowouts.
So the series price is out for the degenerates out there, the gamblers out there. Um, I, this is real interesting to me. So we have a damn near even, but the Aces being slightly favored here, which makes sense. Minus 140, no surprise. Mercury plus 120, which in English, this is expected to be a very close series. And we'll see where the money ultimately comes in. And as far as series spread, it's projected to be really close. Worth noting, first 7 game WNBA Finals. We're going to see
Yep.
how that goes. And then there will be some CBA talk immediately after. Or there weren't, and or they won't, and we'll have a lockout. But this is what it is. So season series didn't go well for the Mercury. As I'm pulling it up here, we'll look at a little bit of that. But I think the main thing here, though, is I don't think this is going to be like the same. Like this does feel like a different Mercury team. It's not even just from a confidence standpoint to me. Although the Aces were obviously like this, they're different now because during the regular season they were struggling. But we have here, these are all the matchups from the regular season. Aces win 3 out of 4, including the last 3. So you have August 21st, August 15th, August 29th. I could have sworn there was a 5th, but we have 4 matchups here. 83-61 was the last one, and this is from August 21st. I'm Candace. I'm not going to make too much of the regular season matchups here. I think any team with Alyssa Thomas as the head of the snake is going to be like tough as shit, and she's demonstrated that. Like I've said in the playoffs, top 5 players that I don't want to see in a playoff series if I'm on the other side. Satu Sabali is the one for me where it's like, okay, if because she's finals MVP talented. If she could actually like confidently generate these open looks, cash in from 3, just be the force that she is offensively, I think this makes this series like this could really bend Vegas's defense, but we didn't we don't know if we're going to get that consistently in this series. That's sort of the main thing that I'm looking out for. There are a couple things there, but for you, I guess, what are you most looking forward to with this series?
So I actually, off the top of my head, I don't remember when Kalia Copper came back from injury. So I'm not sure if she played. I think she probably must have played in like that last game that they had against each other. Yeah. Okay. Um, I think that's a really big X factor that the New York Liberty just went through, that the Minnesota Lynx just had to handle, is the fact that these teams, many of them, had not known a Phoenix Mercury team from this season with Copper healthy.
Mm,
With her back on the court, they are a completely different team and a completely different beast to try to stop on offense. And defensively, they are so much more dynamic because they're not asking a rookie, Monica Koa-Makani, to do ridiculously heavy lifting. You're not asking
this is
Alyssa
true.
Thomas to
Yeah.
do ridiculously heavy lifting on both ends of the court. You have Clea Copper, who is an excellent defender. Um, and so that's a big key for me, but I totally agree with you. I feel like Satu is going to be the X factor for Phoenix in this series just because I think in the 3 games that they won against Minnesota, she was averaging about 25 points per game. The one game that they had lost, she had only, I think, scored about 10 points. So if she's on, it's quite difficult for Phoenix to find a way to lose um, against an elite team like Minnesota. So if she's locked in, if she's hitting these trailing threes and is in sync with both Copper and Thomas on the floor, and she is maintaining that intensity that she tends to have, especially feeding off of Alyssa Thomas and Clea Copper, I don't know. It's looking a it looks a little questionable for Vegas, especially given the defense that I literally just saw them play in this game against
That's
Indiana.
yeah, and so this is also during the Aces tear, right? As they were like figuring it out, putting it together. Jewel Lloyd
Yep.
was coming off the bench. So the last couple times, like that's a little bit more representative. Although the last one, I don't maybe the Aces do blow them out once or twice. Just because maybe specifically at home, just because there are times where the Mercury offense could just be in the mud, which is another staple of a team led by Alyssa Thomas. Like it's just gonna happen at times.
Yeah.
But look, she's gonna have her near triple doubles or her actual triple doubles in this game as well. So this is a representative sample that I think is as somebody speeds in my neighborhood. It happens a lot here. Like it's ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. Like I sound like a Karen, but
No,
yo,
I get
like
it.
I don't know. I'm not gonna do it. Like I just think having a fast car in New York City is stupid. Like
It is
I
extremely
just think it's stupid. Like whatever. But anyway, Phoenix Mercury, Las Vegas Aces. This is from August 15th, so less than 2 months ago. This is the last time these two teams played each other in a game that was competitive because we just outlined uh, about a week later, Vegas won by 22 points. This is also the most recent time that they played against each other in Phoenix. And here, remembering this well, this is what I'm talking about with Satsu Sabali. They did not win this game, but God, 26, and the way she was getting these looks and just making them with confidence was like just 3 level scoring, getting to the rim, hitting from three for seven, just creating shots. Alyssa Thomas was her usual self, and Kalia Copper was here. And one of the things I do worry about though is can you get enough from the others? Not Dewana Bonner necessarily, but the others aside from that. And then with the Aces, it's always like, okay, you have Kirsten Bell in the starting lineup, and she's obviously there for less of a role. She's kind of a spot starter or a starter that you're not going to play big minutes to unless she's just hitting for whatever reason from three, particularly. And then Alyssa Smith is kind of a swing piece where it's like you don't really know what you're going to get, but if the offense is there, yeah, you want to ride her momentum. But otherwise, similarly, I'm trusting their big three of Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and then from there, it's like, yo, I would like for Jewel Lloyd to be a little more consistent, and Dana Evans can really pop at times, but sometimes you only get it in flashes. So this is very much to me and Asia Wilson's the best player in the series, but this is a supporting cast series to me. Like who's going to get more out of their role players, out of their bench, out of their others, quote unquote, because I trust the stars to mostly show up.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that if we're calling it now, Vegas's bench has been a lot more reliable, I've found in the postseason so far compared to Phoenix's. Um, I think that Semi Wickham has obviously had her big moments in the playoffs this year. Um, but she has been extremely streaky and has been more often than not reliable from 3-point range, which is sort of what they're looking to her for. Um, and then they don't really trust the rest of their bench. It's really just Sammy Wickham, and everyone else is just kind of there. I would love to see them play Kalani Brown more. I feel like she could be a big key in this series, especially against Asia Wilson. She's not, I would not say an elite defender, but she is at least someone that you can have in the post to present a bit of a wall against Asia. But again, I don't know if she's enough to really stop her as well. But I do think that the Aces bench, specifically of Jewel Lloyd and especially of Dana Evans, who I have loved since she was in Chicago, I felt like they really mismanaged her role there, and I was super excited to see her land with the Aces. And then with the Aces, her role was a bit mismanaged, but now she's starting to click. Um, and so I think she's going to be huge in this series as well off their bench. But I totally agree. It's going to definitely come down to how much can they get out of their role players, because this score from this game, 3-point difference, that's going to be more or less what we see pretty much every game in this series, I think. I don't think that this is
Hopefully.
going to have, I don't think there's going to be any blowouts.
Really?
And
Okay.
you could clip it and I could be totally wrong. but I really do not see a world where these two teams are not in an absolute rock fight every single night that they're playing, just because that's just their nature. That's just how
Mm-hmm.
they've been this
Yeah.
entire year. And I just feel like talent wise, they match up very well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm expecting physicality for sure. I'm expecting physicality. I think they're going to get on each other's nerves. I think
oh, yeah.
Satu Sabali and Alyssa Thomas are going to have to be separated from Asia Wilson at some point, or Chelsea Gray or whatever. Like, I'm expecting a couple of those. By the way, lines already moved. We're getting some action on the Mercury. Plus 115 from plus 120, and the Aces are minus 135. Um, this is fun. Exact games. How? We can do predictions now. I think we can do that before moving on to Nafisa Collier. Let's do finals predictions briefly. I'm gonna start by tossing it to you because I'm gonna be a coward, and you're the guest. But
Okay.
I am I will give my prediction after you finish. But I'm also gonna get a couple more seconds to think about it here. So what do you think is gonna
Okay.
happen in this series?
So I don't think it's going to go to 7. I don't think it's going to go to 7 games. I think it'll go to about 6. I'm saying 6. I think as of right now, given what I've seen, I have to go with the Aces winning this series simply because their big three, like we were just talking about, is a lot more consistent. And I can see them carrying the momentum from this finals clinching win into this series, especially Chelsea Gray, who looked ridiculously vintage in that final sequence in overtime where she was hitting those like circus shots from 3 point range. That's the Chelsea Gray that I feel like is the difference maker for the Aces that makes them go from great to unbeatable. Um, Again, every game is going to be close. I don't think there's going to be any blowouts unless Asia drops 50, which could happen.
I don't know if it surprised me at this point. She's on a tear.
I will not. I can't say she wouldn't. But I do think that the Aces win the series, and I think we get. I'm going to go Asia just for finals
Yeah,
MVP.
yeah, it's tough not to. Jackie Young would have to put up some insane numbers
Yeah.
consistently, and she can, but Asia will. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of the thing. Like
Exactly.
Asia might have a couple of games where it's like I don't know if she's going to start off a game 1 for 13 again, like she did once in a game against the feet. They still won that game, by the way, because
Yeah.
their supporting
It's.
cast were ridiculous. At times in this series, Phoenix Vegas. This series begins Friday. It's going to be Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be in Vegas, the first 2 games. So this is just classic 2-2-1-1-1, just NBA style we've seen over and over again. So we're bringing it to the W. I'm excited for a 7 game series finally. I think and these are two teams that they're going to grind their asses down, each other's asses down, and it's going to
Yeah.
be very fun to see how this unfolds. All the start times are at 8, except for the 2 Sunday games at 3. So we have game 1 Friday, October 3rd, game 2 Sunday, October 5th. It's going to be 8 p.m. and then 3 p.m. So a little more than a day turnaround until game 2, both those games in Vegas. And then off until Wednesday and Friday, you get both games in Phoenix. Those are both at 8 p.m. Eastern time, then Sunday. So Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So just 1 day rest in between. And that includes a travel day. So we're going from Phoenix after game 4 to Vegas if necessary for a game 5 that's less than 2 days later because it's going to be early Sunday. And then on October 15th and October 17th, Wednesday, Friday, Phoenix, Vegas, if necessary for games 6 and 7. That's going to be both starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's the finals schedule. And something tells me we'll be playing into the teens, I think. I think we can get to like I'm expecting 6 or 7.
Mhm.
I think there's a world where, to your point though, like the Aces can kind of just be awesome and it's like, oh, Phoenix just doesn't have enough here. I'm expecting Phoenix to get at least two, and this is kind of a head says Vegas, heart says Phoenix situation for me
Hmm.
because I really believe this Mercury team is legit good. Like I think these are two of the best three teams in the league. The other one being Minnesota. The Liberty should be there. Injuries, they didn't quite have it this year. They were cut below, I felt like, and I thought the Mercury were going to beat them in that series. I think in this series, my head says Vegas in actually 7 games, 6 or 7 games. I want to say 7, but I, I have this feeling about Phoenix, like they could actually pull this off. I just don't know if A'ja Wilson's just gonna be on the losing team in the finals at this stage against the Phoenix Mercury team, who has like still a top 3 MVP contender, but you know, do they have enough in totality? I mean, to me, this is a 7 game series. I lean Vegas. They're going to be home for that too. They're a very, very, very tough team to beat at home. But if anyone could do it, it's a team with the makeup of Phoenix. It's a team with that mentality, a team that can grind you down, a team that also, while grinding you down, they have a couple bucket getters in Satu Sabali, Clea Copper, obviously Alyssa Thomas too. But yeah, this is a head says Vegas in 7, but heart kind of is like, Phoenix can pull this off in 7 games. So that's where I'm at. But Vegas in 7 is like the conscious prediction, the
Yeah.
conscious one. It's the one that I'd probably bet on. But I'd really I want to pick Phoenix, but I'm just like, Asia's like just ridiculous. Like it's legitimately like picking against whoever the best player in the NBA is at any given time. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Very
hard.
sure.
It's hard.
Yeah. It feels wrong to bet against a team with A'ja Wilson.
Feels wrong. Yes.
I can't count them out. Both teams, however, have plenty of finals experience, have championship experience between the both of them. Um, AT might genuinely be so tired of losing in the postseason and just losing out on being like this close to a trophy that she refuses also to lose. Um, there's a lot of chips on people's shoulders, I feel like, on both of these teams. So that's why I do think it's just going to be such a close series and such a close game every single game because I think both teams have that mentality of like,
Yeah.
we cannot walk off this court with a loss.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely no way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a finals matchup I was never anticipating would happen. And one that I'm very thrilled is happening just because it is such a fun matchup, genuinely.
Before we get to the Feast of Collier, a couple questions in the chat. Questions, comments, donations, always welcome here. Just be cool. Rick Smith said, what I saw was a team with Olympians barely sneaked by a team that had mostly bench players playing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, Rick, can't say you're wrong. We're being
That is what
totally
happened.
honest. And the fever, Candace, you know this. They're going to be a very, very trendy pick next year to win the title. Like, I think most people right now, would be like next year's finals, Lynx, Fever, because these are the teams that kind of fell apart in the semis, where it felt like if healthy, especially for the Lynx, but even the Fever, because they were so broken down, like the possibilities are there. They laid out a winning foundation. Them winning in the first round was an upset, even though the Atlanta Dream were better than expected.
Yeah,
So, Rick, I mean,
you're making points.
I can't say you're wrong.
You are definitely making points.
Eagles brother 92. This is going to be a fun finals. We both agree. We all agree. I'm curious to see who on the Ace is going to slow down AT. Kind of has to be A'ja.
I think that does come down to A'ja because you have to put your best defender on AT because she is a brick wall driving into the paint. And
Yes.
the only person that can stop that is another brick wall, which is A'ja. Melissa Smith is not going to be able to handle that
Yeah.
assignment at all. I'm fearful of how she's going to handle the assignment of potentially then having to defend Satu as a result of A'ja being switched on to AT.
No, no. To your point. To your point. We just saw this with the Lynx and the Mercury. it was
Yeah.
Visa Collier and Alyssa Thomas on each other, guarding each
Yes.
other, playing against
Yeah.
each other, competing against each other. You don't get that in the NBA a lot,
No.
because matchup schemes and this person has to guard this person. We got to save this person. And the W is like, nah, bro, nah, we're gonna guard each other. We're gonna do all the shit we got to do on offense and guard the other team's best player. In the NBA, I feel like you get that less and less. That was good to see. Not that you don't get that at all, but it's more rare
Yeah.
for teams to be willing to throw their best player on, because it's grueling. It's a tough task, especially with the speed these games are being played now. Like, we'll see. Hopefully, nobody breaks down in that case. Okay,